In this video, I'm going to be sharing about what I actually do as a data scientist, how my day-to-day looks like, why I'm a data scientist, and if you watching this should be a data scientist. So if you've ever wondered how a day-to-day of a data scientist looks like, today's a lucky day. Come along with me. Who is a data scientist? I know there's a lot of definitions out there, but in my opinion, a data scientist is someone who uses programming, could be Python or R, combined with some mathematics or statistics, and of course data to solve business problems. And I like to just keep it as simple as that. And business problems could be trying to increase revenue, or trying to reduce churn, or trying to improve your logistics problem. So it could be in order to optimize some sort of cost, or increase revenue, or generally just provide the right direction or insights for the business going forward. Some common problems could be fraud detection, like the typical MasterCard problem that we all know, trying to identify fraud with MasterCard. Or it could also be customer segmentation, trying to put your customer into classes to know the best paying customers, how heavy your customers are, or medium or low, basically, in terms of what you want them to do, to know the ones to really focus on and to get more like that. It could also even be sales forecast, customer service forecast, some sort of forecast to know for you to be ready for inventory or whatever. Or could also just be analyzing some sort of customer feedback. It could be anything really. As long as you have data for it, you can really do a lot of stuff and be able to create value for the business. And of course, there are a lot more areas of data science, like machine learning, which is very popular, deep learning, which is even more popular. Maybe I can also talk about why I am a data scientist. I think first of all, you have to be sincere here. The first thing is the competitive pay. So one thing you'll notice is that data scientists get paid well. Often this median salary of data scientists is higher than the median salary of the area they are. For example, in Germany, the median salary is about 46,000 euros. I checked basically this on Google. And for a data scientist, checking this also on Glassdoor, it tells you that the median salary is about 60,000 euros. So you see, it's a little bit higher. It also means that you can comfortably pay your bills and basically get around with life. And in fact, in other countries like the US, it is not unusual for you to see some data scientists that are paid as high as $200,000. But I'm not going to get your hope high to say, okay, this is what everybody gets. I'm just going to say that if you build your career and you're really good at what you do and you have a lot of experience, it is not impossible. So basically, it's very attractive because the pay is good. I think the second thing that I like about being a data scientist is the fact that there's a work-life balance. I started working basically around the era of COVID, and since then I've been working from home, and I have the flexibility to, not like I can choose to not work, but I also have the flexibility to work at certain times and also maybe work later, and also the possibility of remote work. I think it's something that is encouraging. And if you work in tech, as a data scientist, you work in tech, of course, you also get that advantage that you can be very flexible with your work. You can be in your pajamas and basically start coding, and you're done and you're ready for work for the day without having to really be in a place physically. And that also opens you to the world globally. So you can be in Germany, for example, and work for a company in the US. You can be in the US and work for a company in the UK. Basically, you are not limited, and you can be living in Bali and also be working for a company in South Africa. It really doesn't matter. I think my background in mathematics is also one reason why I think I found myself as a data scientist. My background sort of gives me a little bit of an advantage here as well, because of course this helps me to understand the basics of mathematics or statistics that helps someone to succeed along this line. I know someone will ask me now and say, oh, Samson, I would like to be a data scientist, but I do not have a mathematics or statistics degree. Can I be a data scientist? And the answer is yes. as long as you can master the basics and you can understand and learn this, you can absolutely be a data scientist, and you really can be a great data scientist. And that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in, Brilliant. If you're just getting started and you're looking to learn a whole bunch of mathematics, data analytics, programming, and AI in an interactive way, and I really want to stress the word interactive way, where you learn by doing, then Brilliant is the best place for you to be. You see, the reason why I love Brilliant is it's very interactive, and you learn in a very visual way, which is probably the best way to learn if you want to learn mathematics. For example, if you want to learn and understand geometry, with the visuals presented, you can easily understand how things work, and the pictures also make them to stick because you can move the cursor around. You can focus also on the essentials, basically the most important things, and I like the most useful things that are applicable with the concepts. So if you like to try out Brilliant free for 30 days, use my link shown below, Samson Afolabi, you see it below, or you can also scan the QR code and you will get 20% off on an annual premium subscription. So thank you to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Now, what do I do? In my previous role, working as a data scientist, I used to build ML models for delivery optimization. Basically, what we were trying to do is when the company I was working for orders for products around the world, we want to know if those products will come in early or late, because if they come in late, then it costs a lot more money for the business if they are not adequately prepared. So we take a lot of factors into play, just which routes are those products coming, air, by land, and see the past behavior of the supplier is also something we put into the model. Is this person usually coming late or early? What kind of materials are they sending to us? And we can take an inventory of that and send that to whoever is raising the PO and say, hey, most likely this thing is going to come late, just be prepared and don't put machines to run, and then we'll lose a lot of money. Right now in my present role, I'm more of an all-rounder and I explain what I mean by an all-rounder. Sometimes I find myself building ETL pipelines, which I think is the work of a data engineer, and sometimes I'm building dashboards, which I think is the work of a data analyst, and sometimes I'm building ML models, and it really just depends on what the problem is and likes. I enjoy it because I see myself leading, and I currently lead a team, and so sometimes I'm just around helping people out and helping them to get their job done, or also doing my job. That's not typical, and that's not what I would expect everybody to be doing. I think it really depends on where you work. If you work in a startup, you might find yourself being a generalist like I am, but if you work in a much more bigger company, you might find yourself being a specialist. So it really just depends, but at the moment I really just like it because it means that I also have knowledge about a wide range of tools and I can also learn a lot. Really, I get exposed to a lot of technologies, which I think for the level that I am right now in my career, I really do enjoy it. If you ask me about my tech stack, I use Python a lot. I'm a Python guy. R, I probably know a couple of things, but Python is largely where I do my stuffs. SQL, when I need to query from Snowflake, we use Snowflake, and also BigQuery, so when I need to do that. And I'm very familiar with cloud projects like GCP, AWS. I've also used a couple of times for some personal projects, and largely for visualizations I use Tableau, Power BI rarely in my previous job, and also Lucas Studio. I really do love Lucas Studio. I just love the drag and drop functionality on Lucas Studio. If you want to see me use Lucas Studio, do a project, check this video out where we build a dashboard, and you can also learn some things that I shared in that as well. Just to talk about our data science team structured, there could be a possibility that you are the only data scientist in your company. That possibility is very slim, truth be told, only if you work in a startup and you're the only person there. So you probably don't have to talk about data science teams. But if you work in a large company, in my experience, there are two ways that I've seen data teams structured. So one could be the data team is central to everyone, and basically it's a central team, and every cluster in the company, every vertical in the company comes to speak with the central data team to get their job done. So you could have a data team that has maybe 3 data scientists, 2-3 data engineers, and a couple more data analysts, or probably data architects, or whatever they will need in the company. And different teams, like maybe the sales team, marketing team, comes to these people and say, hey, we need this, and help us. That was the way it was in my previous company. So you guys are like more like consultant and helping everyone out. Sometimes you also have data teams sort of in different data verticals. So for example, you could have a data team in the marketing team. You could then have a data team in the sales team. I think this kind of approach sort of makes the data teams within those departments more job focused and central, and there's a lot more expertise with the topics. So I think it really just depends on how the companies are structured, and it gives the data science team more focus. I'm not going to talk in this video about which one is better, but that's what you can expect if you work in a data team, and especially if you work in a very big company, you can expect either one of the two. So what should you do to be a data scientist? Do you see yourself being a data scientist? I think the most important thing is that you get comfortable with programming. If you get comfortable with programming, either in Python, in how I would advise Python, because it's well popular and well known, and also getting to learn about SQL if you know that, understand databases, database structures, data types and stuff like that. And the truth is also that you can also get to learn all of this online. I started learning online on Data Quest, and then I moved to taking courses on Coursera, and then from there I attended a physical boot camp for 3 months, and I started building projects, and then from there I got my first job. I have a separate video where I explained all of this in total, how my journey was when I finished my master's and getting into the job, and then how I got a job also after 6 weeks when I finished my bootcamp. If you want to see that and you want to see everything, check out this video right here and you will see all of the details there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.